Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zesty Zoy Pod. It's been a while since the last episode due to my being busy and lazy.
5 marathons in 5 weeks.
No.
That lazy world.
I've just been really busy, but we're back, hopefully back with a decent schedule, weekly schedule, but yeah.
Were you doing this weekly?
I used to.
Nice.
Today we're joined by someone who I've known for since university.
Yeah, Math 101, man.
Yeah, since day one, university. The gains I've seen from him, like exercise fitness wise, is like I don't think I've ever seen someone like that, like just go from
Since yourself.
then in terms of like in terms of just cardio fitness, yeah, Mr. Samir.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, boss.
Even though and yeah,
good to have you.
Thanks for Samir graciously hosting us in a much more expensive studio setup here in Toronto.
No, not mine.
But you're still hosting the downtown setup.
Thank you for motivating me to go out today. You know, like I had a Saturday run on the plan, but it was probably a 50-50 chance if I was actually going to do it, or if I was probably going to go and do it on a treadmill. So good run.
Yeah, it was just disclaimer, we ran earlier, so yeah, it was nice.
I feel like a lot of your podcasts are post to run, you know, the ones I've seen at least.
Yeah, some of them are post runs. Yeah, so
it's a good way to start things up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to get started, for context, Samir is like one of the very few triathletes I know, and he's the most dedicated out of all of them.
Thanks.
No shade to anyone else. It's just when you look at training logs and his results, it's been like that.
So I only just got Strava. Well, August 5 people had no idea how much I was training.
Like Garmin Connect beast.
Garmin Connect. Would you follow me on Garmin Connect?
No.
Okay. I think you have to you have to actively share it.
Yeah.
On Garmin Connect. I like my Garmin Connect. It's an underrated app, you know.
So just tell us about your journey, because I think you're the first person to get into triathlons out of anyone I know, right?
Yeah.
Or about people you know too.
Yeah, the journey. I mean, I did a half marathon in second year, and I did that after. So for context, I did rolling in high school, and I wasn't like I never I just did it because I thought it was fun. Like I couldn't care less about gains. I was never like timing my runs or my ergs or anything like that. But I thought it was like fun to just like exercise every day. And I thought I was in decent fitness, like at least like body composition wise, it seemed it. Like but like, you know, I would never take my nutrition seriously. I remember like literally eating candy right before my races, but it was just like a fun thing to do. And then I didn't do it in 12th grade because I was busy with other things. And then first year I was just like really busy with school, so I didn't focus on athletics at all. I would like run every now and again. I'd go to the gym and like delude myself that I was maintaining my fitness. And then in second year on a co-op, me and Bob, mutual friend of ours, we randomly like found like this pickup soccer, like there's some high schoolers in Toronto, and we played, and like within 10 minutes I was so gassed. And I was just like, what happened? Like this is insane. And I remember I always wanted to do a half marathon. My brother had done one like many years ago when I was a kid. I was like, I'll do one of those one day, and I kept pushing off the goal. And then after that soccer game, I told Bob, I was like, we are going home, we are finding a half marathon happening very soon, and we are going to run it. And we booked one like a month out. I didn't have like running shoes. I like trained in like Vans and flat like gym shoes. I could barely recover after every run. I think I ran like 4 times.
Yeah.
We did that. I couldn't walk for a week, but I was like, this was awesome. But at the same time, I didn't want to train for a marathon because that just seemed boring to me. Like running a half marathon was already like very long to me, and a marathon was like that. Because for me, it would have taken like 4 to 5 hours to do a marathon. So I'm like, that just sounds boring. And Yes Theory put out a video recently at the time about them doing a 70.3, like a half Ironman. And I was like, that looks fucking epic. So I was like, all right, let's start something smaller. And we signed up for an Olympic triathlon. And that was my first triathlon.
Was that during the pandemic?
This was right before. So the half marathon was May of 2019. And then we started training for a triathlon summer term. Me, Bob, and a few other friends were in school. And we trained for an Olympic triathlon. At first we were going to try to do a 70.3 right off the bat. The only reason we did not do that, thank God, was that there were just none in Canada in fall because it gets too cold. So if there was a 70.3 on the calendar in like September or October, we might have like just deleted ourselves. So we were like, oh, let's do an Olympic, because there was an Olympic one in like London, Ontario. And we did that one. We signed up for that one. And we can get into that one, but the TLDR was like a last place. And but that was a very good learning opportunity. And so yeah. You want to talk about that?
Well, you don't have to. I guess like
I love that race.
Like all the gains you made since that race, because I know like you bike like so much, like hundreds of miles per week.
I did. I haven't biked since my last race, but
I mean, just getting to your 5 hour 70.3 or from that
501. 501.
From that quote unquote last place to that 501, like what happened in between?
Well,
like,
it's almost 2 chapters, right? So the reason I got last place in that is because like I fundamentally did not understand fitness. Like that phase of my life was all about like I want to do hard things and I want to go longer and farther. I didn't care about speed and I didn't care about doing things and still like I remember like my brother said something to me one time after like that triathlon I got last place because I was still very happy. Like I'd finished the triathlon. And by the way, the reason I got last place was because I didn't appreciate like what went into doing well at a triathlon. Like I trained all my biking on a like 1970s bike machine at Icon, like the building. And it's like you're upright. You're not. It doesn't even train you as a site. It's not like a proper spin machine.
No aero.
No aero. No peloton. And I literally rode the bike that I rode for the race for the first time the night before the race. Like I just tried it on in the parking lot. So I basically got off the bike and I was limping for the entire run. Because I wasn't fit. I didn't even know how to shift gears properly. So I was just like randomly playing. So that's the reason, right? But anyway, I was very happy. I was like, oh, I finished this. I accomplished it. I didn't care that like I was in last place. I did it before the deadline of the race. And I remember my brother said something being like, the first time I did a half marathon, I ran a 10K the next day. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, maybe winning isn't just like completing the race. It's also like doing it right. Like not completely devastating your body. Right? Or if you're devastating your body, like you know you're doing it. Like you know, like carbons are not as nice to run in stable shoes, but like you know, you do it one time on a race day. So and then I would have probably signed up for a 70.3 the next summer, but then the pandemic hit, so races were closed. And then I basically took like a 2 to 3 year gap of like on triathlon marathons, but in that time I got really into hiking. And so that was like thankfully this thing I got into during COVID that helped me maintain my fitness. And then when I got my first full-time job in California, I was like, well, I really wanted to do a 70 It was always on the mind. And then right before I moved to California, I did my first bike tour. And that taught me a lot about biking. So the combination of moving to California where it's like this outdoor haven and then also falling in love with biking kind of just put me in the right mentality to be like, okay, I enjoy it because like the first triathlon, I was like, I don't like biking. I'm just doing this to get through the race. Now it's like, okay, I liked all 3 disciplines. I was in a place that was conducive to good training and like a lot of wisdom because I had joined a triathlon club and like everyone knows so much. Like, there's people that have done it for like over 10 years. So you had like this wealth of wisdom. You had this like ingrained enjoyment of the sport and that kind of fed into just like, and then from that point, it just was easy. Like I remember like the first, like I basically did like 8 very hard months of training. The first 4 months, I wasn't like benchmarking myself. I wasn't like, I was training consistently, but I wasn't like aiming for times. I was just all effort based. And then like when I actually did benchmark myself 4 months later, I was genuinely surprised at how far my fitness went. It was just because I was having fun doing it.
Yeah, there was one morning you sent me, did like a 1:30 something half marathon.
Oh yeah, 1:32.50. I was fucking shocked that day, dude. That was 2 months out. So even then, I had no idea where my fitness was. I remember like my initial goal for the first 70.3 was to get sub 6 hour. Or like sub 6 or sub 550 because like that was about the average for my age group. Yeah. And I remember like this is like a month and a half out from the race. I'm like doing like this Thursday bike ride with my club and there's this dude, Arnaud, love him to death. He's like in his 50s but he's fit as shit. Like he's almost as fast as me. Probably like way faster when he was my age. And I remember just like being so stressed. I really cared about hitting that sub 6 hour goal. And I remember being like, Arnaud, dude, I just like really want to get under 6 hours. And he had been training with me for months at this point. He was like, dude, you're gonna break 6 hours. Are you fucking kidding me? And then I actually did some benchmarks that week after he said that. So I was like, was he just like brown nosing me or something like that? And I was like, oh, I'm getting into 6 hours. And then I started being like, let's see if I can get under 5 hours. And I got close and I didn't get that. So.
Nice.
That was a fun
So,
time.
so is your strength by far like biking compared to everything the other two?
Like originally?
Like right now,
now?
or like during the 70.3s that you've done.
Yeah.
Was your strength like basically on the bike?
Well, I think if you base it off age group percentage, my run's the best. I think that's because a lot of people hate running. I think and it's a combination of a lot of people hate running and a combination of I don't want to use this as a cop out, but like if you put me on like the best bike money could buy, I'd be like about 5 minutes faster on my bike. But even then, I think my running would still be better. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think I just like running more than most people. So, and for a lot of triathletes, like running is just like annoying to them. Like I think like a lot of cyclists get into triathlon.
Oh, yeah, but at the very top, you're like elite at both biking and running. I feel like.
I wouldn't call myself elite. I wouldn't call myself elite at all. But I mean, elite, it's like anything, right? It's like we compare ourselves to the entire population. Where it's so easy to be top 1%. If you compare yourself to people in your age group, it's pretty easy to be like top 10%. If you compare yourself to people who train 10 hours plus a week, you should be grateful for being top half.
Yeah.
So it's like anything.
Nice. So at your peak, like how many hours do you put in per week?
I think last year I went way harder. Last year my peak was close to 20 hours.
Damn. And what's the distribution?
It was probably like 10 to 12 hours of biking, and then like 5 to 7 hours of running, and then the rest would be swimming. Yeah. My swimming training was garbage last year though. I had no idea how to train swimming. Like I'm learning stuff all the time. Like last year would just be like I'd go in the pool and I'd just swim for like 3,000 yards straight, and I'd be like that was good. Because I had like a running mentality towards swimming, and then this year I learned because I started getting coaching advice from like some top tier swimmers I swam with. Shout out to Helena. And she was basically like, dude, it's like hundreds and 50s. That's the name of the game. Like, fuck that. Like you could swim the distance, right? Like, if you've been swimming for a while, you could swim like a 70.3 distance, which is like 1.2 miles. So all that matters is like you go as hard as you can for 50 meters, take a 20-second break, then do that. And then do that like 40 times.
Yeah, that sounds kind of tough if you just...
Oh, no. It hurts way more. Because the thing is, like, if you're someone who does this kind of stuff, here's the thing. I feel like for people who haven't swam that much, that sounds way better to them, right? Because for them, like getting like I'm gonna swim 3,000 yards, like that's 120 lengths, that's 60 laps, right? For some people, like that sounds like waterboarding yourself.
Yeah.
But once you've been doing a lot of endurance, like you know how to like just distract yourself. Like I put on music, I wear these things that like are waterproof, and I can just like forget about myself for an hour, right? But yeah, going hard for 50 and then like that's true torture. That's true torture.
Damn.
Do you ever swim?
Well, I haven't done last swimming in 10 years, but
No, you should. It's great cross training, dude. I feel like it doesn't matter for you. You'll
Well,
run 100
lazy.
miles
Well,
a week, but
well, you gotta go to a facility and then do other stuff, and
yeah.
that's
Do you have a gym in Seattle?
yeah. Well, I don't go to one, but there are lots of swimming places. I know some people that swim. So.
Yeah, dude. It's good cross training, It mixes up the mind, Do you ever, wait, what was like in the last like 3 years? Have you ever gone sick of running?
No,
Was it-
I just listen to music. It's just same as swimming.
Same.
You just listen to music and just
Yeah.
run, and it's chill.
Oh, I get sick of swimming all the time. Don't get me wrong. Like, swimming is easily the one I get most sick of. But,
Yeah, I guess.
damn, you never get sick of running, huh? That's a lot.
Well, that's why I'm not a triathlete. I don't
Yeah.
have that mindset like you guys.
No. If you compare yourself to people in your age group, it's pretty easy to be like top 10%. If you compare yourself to people who train 10 hours plus a week, you should be grateful for being top half,
Yeah.
So it's like anything.
Nice. So at your peak, like how many hours do you put in per week?
I think last year I went way harder. Last year my peak was close to 20 hours.
Damn.
Close to 20
And
hours.
what's your distribution?
It was probably like 10 to 12 hours of biking, and then like 5 to 7 hours of running, and then the rest would be swimming. Yeah. My swimming training was garbage last year though. I had no idea how to train swimming. Like I'm learning stuff all the time. Like last year would just be like I'd go in the pool and I'd just swim for like 3,000 yards straight, and I'd be like that was good. Because I had like a running mentality towards swimming, and then this year I learned because I started getting coaching advice from like some top tier swimmers I swam with. Shout out to Helena, and she was basically like, dude, it's like hundreds and 50s. That's the name of the game. Like fuck that. Like you could swim the distance, right? Like if you've been swimming for a while, you could swim like a 70.3 distance, which is like 1.2 miles. So all that matters is like you go as hard as you can for 50 meters, take a 20-second break, then do that, and then do that like 40 times.
Yeah, that sounds kind of tough if you're just.
Oh no, it hurts way more. Because the thing is, like, if you're someone who does this kind of stuff, like here's the thing. I feel like for people who haven't swam that much, that sounds way better to them, right? Mm-hmm. Because for them, like, getting like I'm gonna swim 3,000 yards, like that's 120 lengths, that's 60 laps, right? For some people, like that sounds like waterboarding yourself. Yeah. But once you've been doing a lot of endurance, like, you know how to like just distract yourself. You know, like I put on music, I wear these things that like are waterproof, and I can just like forget about myself for an hour, right? But yeah, going hard for 50 and then like that's true torture. That's true torture.
Damn.
Do you ever swim?
Well, I haven't done lap swimming in 10 years, but
you should. It's great cross training, dude. I feel like it doesn't matter for you. You'll run 100 miles a week, but
it's just you gotta go to a facility and then do other stuff, and that's.
Do you have a gym in Seattle?
Yeah. Well, I don't go to one, but there are lots of swimming places. I know some people that swim. So.
Yeah, dude. It's good cross training, you know? It mixes up the mind, you know. Do you ever, what was like in the last like 3 years, have you ever gone sick of running?
No. I just listen to music. It's just same as swimming. You just listen to music and just run, and it's chill.
Oh, I get sick of swimming all the time. Don't get me wrong. Swimming is easily the one I get most sick of. But,
I guess.
Damn, you never get sick of running, huh? That's a lot.
Well, that's why I'm not a triathlete. I don't have that mindset like you guys.
No, but I mean, I think if you had to pick one sport to like, I think if you're a good runner, you could be, again, assuming you know how to swim, then it carries over the most. Yeah. Like they actually do a lot of experiments with biking and running where they take a really good runner who has like very novice biking experience and then vice versa. And the runner always performs disproportionately better on the bike than the biker does on the run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know for one day.
You should do it.
My dream of
doing If I sign up for an Ironman, will you sign up with it for me? I'll give you like a year's warning.
140?
140.6, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Like I just want to do one and done.
Exactly, yeah. That's like I feel like if I told you like let's do an Olympic, you'd be like, what? Like missing with that shit, you know? Like, what are we doing?
Because I'm just gonna rent a bike for like do what you did in the first one. I'm just gonna
That might be genuinely dangerous on this Ironman, but I believe it.
Rent a bike a few times, like
you'd want to. I'd say like rent a bike and get it fitted to you. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, if you get off a bike that you aren't fitted on, that you just biked 112 miles on. Like, did you talk to Garland? Like, he got off the bike on the 70.3 race together, and like he was like screaming on the ground. Like the medics had to come to him. What happened? Because he just wasn't fitted to it, and I think he was like it wasn't like chronic pain, but he was like it was just like really sore, and it took him, like he spent like 10 minutes in transition before he started running. And that ruins it. And the sad thing is his best discipline was the run. Like this is happening if you're a really good runner. If you completely don't take the bike seriously, then you'll ruin the thing that you like the most in the triathlon. So if you get fitted to the bike it a few times. Yeah. Like maybe run one for like 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or at least get a cheap one and do some long rides on it, then just...
Yeah, you can get a used bike for like $300. That's like not bad, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But just the wetsuit and stuff, like, and I guess the follow up to Nick's swimming question, I was talking to other triathletes. Yeah. You probably know because
really who?
Like Ajay, like a long time ago. But you're talking about like open water swimming. So like how often?
Please always call Ajay a triathlete. It's
like, hey. Yeah, it's like for open water swimming. Like how often do you need it or do it? Like, do you even need it? Because people say it's a lot different, which I've done like swimming off a beach and it's very different with the current.
It's very different. I think if you're a very elite swimmer, like the most elite swimmers I know in triathlon don't even waste their time doing it or like they'll do it every once in a while for fun. But they don't do it for training because they're just so good with their form that even in rough waters, they will maintain it. Oh. I think for the rest of us, mortals, like 90% of us, last year I took that race very seriously. This year I was just like having fun with triathlon. Like I was like 50% to 60% of my mileage because I was doing weightlifting too. And I was like pretty happy with where I was at. But last year I made a point in the last 4 months leading up to the race, I would go open water swimming once a week. So, yeah, and I think that helped. Because race day, I like really surprised myself with like how, with like my speed. So I think if you're starting out and you care about like good times, then you should be doing it once a week if you can. It's logistically annoying, But if you can, I would do it once a week. I wouldn't do it more than once a week. Unless like, and I would do it less than once a week only if like you just logistically it's tough to get to open water for you. But yeah. But if you don't care about times, then like do it like 2 or 3 times during your entire training block. It'd be good, you know.
And like during race day, like how different is like?
It's pretty different, but you'll get through. You know, I'd say the only thing I would like highly recommend you do if you're if you're getting into triathlon for the first time is like do at least one time and try to do it with a group, and like try to get in the middle of it. Like, don't be like, if it's a group of like 5 or 7 people, don't be like, oh, I'll go off to the left. No. It's like, try to be as, like, tell them beforehand, but be like, I want to be like in the middle of all of y'all. Because
it's tough.
Because like, you'll get like a mini panic attack on race day when you realize that there's like 10 people around you splashing and then they don't give a shit about you. They care about getting ahead.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like a sardine. And even in my 70.3 this year, because I did like 5 open water swims maybe all year. I was like a little like I was hyperventilating for like a solid like 30 seconds at one point. You know, it's like if you get a couple bits of water in your mouth and then you see some arms it just gets a little scary, you know.
Damn, yeah, that sounds scary.
And it was raining too, so like dude, I didn't even have my bearings. At one point I thought I swam 180 degrees and I had to like stop for like 30 seconds just to make sure I was in the right direction. It was a fucked swim. So
like for most part, most people just, I guess because it's a big group of people, you're just in the middle.
Oh, in the race, you're gonna be in the middle. Like, unless you're like, I'm gonna swim an extra 300 meters and swim on the complete outside of this whole race, you're gonna be among people, you know?
And does your form change at all because of all the extra splashing?
It probably will. No, like, again, I'm saying, if you care about your time, then you need to experience what swimming in swells are like and and the discipline of maintaining your form. If you don't care, yeah, you're gonna be slower. But you're not gonna like stop learning how to swim. You know, it's not like a fundamentally different skill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to consider.
I feel like you're asking a lot of questions. Like,
well, yeah, I asked you a lot last year. I was about to
idea.
Do you remember I was about to sign up with that race with you guys?
Oh, you were.
But then you convinced me not to.
I convinced you not to?
Or like
no, sorry. That was like it was like literally like a week and a half out with you or something like that.
No, it was like 2 months.
2 months? You sure?
Yeah, it was like 2 months, and then I was literally on the registration page with you guys, and then
fuck you.
And then you're talking about like swimming and biking. I'm like, yeah, I've never done a road bike in like 10 years.
I mean, now knowing more about like what you've accomplished, I think you could have easily done it.
No, I don't know. I don't want to go to California and do like fly down and then drive another million years. Yeah. You guys just had to drive like 2 hours.
Oh, I mean, we stayed overnight. Dude, we took that race so seriously. We stayed at like a shitty motel 20 minutes out from the race. Like we were like we had the whole like we planned that weekend 2 months in advance. I'm like it was like one of the greatest seasons of my life, physically in a physiological sense. And I'm grateful for it, and it taught me many things. But I think back to some of the things we did, and like the lengths we went to, and I'm like, dude, I remember I went I drove an hour out from Mountain View on a Saturday to join my club for a clinic. That's what they call it, like where they just teach you a specific thing, just about transitions. And we were in a parking lot practicing getting our wetsuits off and getting on our bikes for 45 minutes. Like I think back to some of the stuff we did, I was like, man, I was very invested in that race, and that's why like this year I was like, okay, let's simmer it down. And then this year, 2025, I am just not doing triathlons. I want to fall back in love with the sport, and I'm just not going to do triathlons. So.
Yeah.
But I love it. Yeah. Recommend it to everybody. It's a great, I'll say this, training for triathlons is awesome. Doing them is annoying and complicated. But like worth it. You know, if you've done all the training, you should do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great journey. Great explanation.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, one day I'll get coaching from you, maybe.
One day I need to get coaching from you, Mr. 16-minute 5K.
Well, I guess next topic in terms of like what you're doing next year in terms of fitness. Are you trying to like get more fit or just have fun?
I am trying to have fun. So we talked about this on the run, but I'll reiterate. Like, I got into biking because I did a bike tour where I biked across New York State. And that was awesome. I met awesome people. I learned so much about like the history of that state. I realized New York City is the worst part about New York. There's so many cool places in New York. New York City's cool. Okay, I don't want to shit on it, but like I think upstate is criminally underrated. Anyway, you learn so much about the world. And then I hadn't done a bike tour, and then that was like that was 6 months before I went hardcore into triathlon, right? And so I gained all this fitness, and I did like a quick 3-day bike tour with a friend in the Bay Area. That was like they were coming, and we like biked to Berkeley and Napa and a few other places. But I haven't done a proper bike tour, so I'm like, this year my first goal, I want to do 2 bike tours. So that's like number 1, and that's not even a fitness goal because it's not even like, oh, I want to like cover this amount of distance and this amount. Like it's just like I don't even care about distance. I care about seeing cool things, and meeting cool people.
Yeah.
I want to get some PRs running wise because I haven't done a running race literally since last year's Turkey Trot. I did a 10K, and I wasn't even training for that. I just did it, and I got a decent time. But now I think I can beat that time by like a few minutes. So I want to PR my 10K. I want to PR my half marathon, and I would like to borrow some spikes from a person and attempt a sub 5-minute mile. I just want to do it once and just say I did a sub 5-minute mile. So those are like the 3 running goals.
I have 10.5 spikes in Seattle.
Yo. So for spikes, so with my running shoes, I wear 10.5s, but my casual shoe is a 9. With spikes, do you wear to your toe? Or do you wear, you're not running shoe, you size up?
Oh, yeah, I just wear the same as running shoes, honestly.
Same as running shoes?
I'm not a track athlete, but I just have spikes because I got them on sale.
I see.
And I did a few track races.
Well, do you size up your running shoes, though? Like, what are your casual shoes and what are your...
Everything's 10.5.
Everything's 10.5.
Unless there's,
Interesting.
some manufacturers specifically are different, but, Nikes, I usually wear Nikes for everything, and that's in 10.5.
Wait, so...
Usually there's a lot of space in all shoes.
Okay. So for me, my casual shoes, the toe is the toe. Maybe half a centimeter or something like that. So
maybe I have a bit more space because I have slightly flat feet.
I have flat feet too.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just...
Okay. So maybe your running shoes are the correct size, but your casual shoes are... I don't know. I don't know, actually. I feel like I could probably wear 10.5 casual shoes. I just don't. I think I wear it to fit.
Oh.
But, dude, let me know. If you come to Toronto with those spikes, let me use them. But, so those are only 3 running goals. And even those, it would be nice, but I'm not, pitting my emotional happiness on it. So that's, those are the fitness goals. Swimming, I might do, once a month just to cross-train and keep it up. Biking, I like to do, but I'm in Toronto. So it's I'm definitely going to work it out, but I'm going to indoor train. As far as outdoor biking,
you bike to Waterloo? I know people do that.
Maybe, but in the winter,
winter sucks.
You could do it, but it's more it's like a mental, it's a challenge. It's not for fun, right? When summer hits, I would love to do it. It would be cool. Yeah. I don't feel walk to Waterloo.
Oh, yeah, I saw that post.
Dude, have you seen the walking of Yonge Street? It's 64 kilometers. Some people do it.
Oh, yeah,
I'd love to do it.
Have you biked to Niagara? I have some friends who, almost biked to Niagara.
No, but when I first moved here, I did a 100-miler, which was going all the way to freaking Burlington and back. Oh, so it was the distance of going to Niagara, but it was just a loop instead of a one-way.
Nice.
The problem is dude, these rides are just not fun. They're maybe I've been spoiled by California, but in California it's you can find a route that is world class, just randomly without even planning it. Here it's you could plan a route and it's half.
Do you have any software you use or any specific map website?
No, I mean I usually look up bike clubs and I'll look up their routes. It's usually
on Google?
Yeah, on Google bike clubs. When I was in Chicago, I did this. I just found a bike club and I biked with them. But
nice.
if I didn't have time to bike with them, I would have just used their routes. They usually know what's up.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just...
Okay. So maybe your running shoes are the correct size, but your casual shoes are... I don't know. I don't know, actually. I feel like I could probably wear 10.5 casual shoes. I just don't. I think I wear it to fit.
Oh.
But, dude, let me know. If you come to Toronto with those spikes, let me use them. But, so those are only 3 running goals. And even those, it would be nice, but I'm not, pitting my emotional happiness on it. So that's, those are the fitness goals. Swimming, I might do, once a month just to cross-train and keep it up. Biking, I like to do, but I'm in Toronto. So it's I'm definitely going to work it out, but I'm going to indoor train. As far as outdoor biking,
you bike to Waterloo? I know people do that.
Maybe, but in the winter,
winter sucks.
You could do it, but it's more it's a mental, it's a challenge. It's not for fun, right? When summer hits, I would love to do it. It would be cool. Yeah. I don't feel walk to Waterloo.
Oh, yeah, I saw that post. Dude,
have you seen the walking of Yonge Street? It's 64 kilometers. Some people do it.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to do it.
Have you biked to Niagara? I have some friends who like almost biked to Niagara.
No, but like when I first moved here, I did a 100-miler, which was like going all the way to like freaking Burlington and back.
Oh,
so it was the distance of going to Niagara, but
yeah,
it was just like a loop instead of a one-way.
Nice.
The problem is like, dude, these rides are just not fun. Like, they're like maybe I've been spoiled by California, but in California, it's like you can like find a route that is world class, like just randomly without even planning it. You know, here it's like you could plan a route and it's like half.
Do you have any like software you use or any specific map website?
No, I mean I usually like I'll look up bike clubs and I'll look up their routes. That's usually
on like Google?
Yeah, like I'll Google bike clubs. Like when I was in Chicago, I did this. I just found a bike club and I biked with them. But
nice.
if I didn't have time to bike with them, I would have just used their routes. You know, they usually know what's up. Like bike clubs, clubs, they know what's up.
Nice, yeah.
Trust the institutions. Right? What about you? What do you do like when you're going to a new city? Like where do you figure out where to run?
I just look at the Strava. There's like the map, and it tells you there's some like preset routes that people have done.
Strava Pro.
Yeah, I have a discount. I have a big discount.
Oh yeah, from work.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's like I sign up and get a 6-month code.
Nice.
And then I cancel the membership, but the code's like the subscription's still in effect.
Oh,
and you get prorated by the month. So like if you do it like the day before the month ends or something, I'll like pay a couple cents for 6 months of premium.
Oh shit.
Otherwise, I wouldn't pay for it because.
Dude, you know Databricks has one of the coolest employee perks I've ever heard of, which is they pay $400 a month for race entries.
Race entries?
Race entries. And here's the catch. It doesn't need to be that month. You just need to have paid for it that month. So like, let's say you're in a place that's winter, so you're like, oh, I don't want to race in January. But you could book 12 races in the summer, and you get $400.
You have no idea how many races I've done this year.
I know. Like, dude, that's a 70.3. Every month that'd be crazy to do 12 70.3s. Like, look, to a lot of people that's not like that valuable of a perk, but to like people like us, that is a $4,800 perk right there. Yeah. I would use every cent of that perk. I would like I don't know, have you ever seen like those like 5Ks that cost $70 and you're like, oh, this looks really fun and cool, but I don't want to pay $70 for a 5K. And I would just sign up for that shit, like willy-nilly. But it's such a cool perk. It's like you get your employees to like do cool active shit. Like, you know, if I was a CEO, like that would be like the direction of type of perks I'd feel like. I'd be like, okay, like I want to shape this company's culture. People gotta start doing some marathons. Like,
that's an insane perk.
So Garland doesn't pay for race entries. Is what I've learned. Yeah, how nice is that?
Yeah, that's the races are so expensive these days.
Yeah. Like my opinion on like all these company perks is like, you know, people wet their mouths over it and like drool over it, but it's like, well, I'm always like, I'd rather like just give it to me in my paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. But when it's like a really well aligned perk, I appreciate it because I'm like, look, because here's the thing, if you gave me $4,800, I probably wouldn't buy $4,800 worth of race entries.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are enabling this like sick, deep, dark side of me that wants to do this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. That is crazy.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Tech companies are hilarious.
Yeah.
Does Axon have any cool perks like that?
Nothing near that. Nothing near that.
True. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the next topic we can segue into is like the cost of triathlons. Like
the cost of triathlons. Okay.
We don't have to be exact, but I'm just saying like in general, like is it just a lot more or like it is a lot more, but like running, like you get a bunch of different shoes, like triathlons, like swimming, biking, like I don't know anything about it.
I love this topic. We can go very deep.
But
the TLDR is it genuinely can be as cheap as you want it to be. And I think it's cheaper than a lot of other sports that people don't like. It's cheaper than skiing. I'll say that. Like skiing and snowboarding, that's a very expensive sport. But I will say, when you are among triathlon communities, you will it skews very expensive. So you need to be very principled with your budget if you care to be frugal, because the industry of triathlon will convince you that you need to spend like $10,000 or something like that, you know. But Yeah, like the bike, right? You can get, this depends on where you are. In California, there are so many cyclists that you can get like very solid bikes for $300. Let's put it at $500. For $500, you can get a used bike that is definitively not like shit, that was well taken care of, but it's going to be like a 15-year-old bike, right? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I would say like, look, if you are trying to like not lose a shit ton of time, yeah, invest in aero bars. But you can get like a set of $50, $30 aero bars off Amazon. They're not going to be fancy schmancy. They're not going to be carbon fiber. They might not be insanely comfortable, but it's a race, so it's like, you're not going to be comfortable. So basically, like, you can get your entire bike set up, I think, for like $500-$600. And if you're really penny pinching, I think you can get it for like $400, right? Like everything you need for the bike setup. The swim, you don't need a wetsuit. If you're in a warm area, you don't need a wetsuit. There are some races where you do, like they're cold, you need a wetsuit. If you do, you can rent one for like $40 off a surf shop, right? It's not gonna be super comfortable, but it's not gonna be like a speedy wetsuit, but like that doesn't matter, right? Goggles you can get for $10. Running is like, as like if you want Vaporfly, it's gonna cost like $300. If you don't, if you're rolling, like it doesn't really matter. You don't need a tri-suit, as we talked about. You could just change, and you're basically paying in like you're gonna spend like 5 to 10 minutes in transition changing from like a swimsuit that you swim in to cycling shorts to running shorts. But you can get like $100, $150 tri-suit, like very bare bones tri-suit, so you don't have to do all that stuff. And
so you never change the whole race.
You never change the whole race. And yeah. So like you can do it all for under $1,000. And then the race entry, a 70.3 is pretty standard. It costs like anywhere from $350 to $450 depending on where the race is. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of like very good value Olympic distance races that cost like $120. So, but I will say, like, if you take it very, very seriously and you're spending like 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 hours a week training, you will appreciate that, like, okay, like I'm spending this much time to cut my run by 5 minutes, or like maybe cut my biking by 5 minutes. Maybe it's worth investing in the $1,000 bike that, like, or maybe like or maybe like a tri-suit, like especially the transition. I think transition is just such like unfortunate loss of time. So it's like, okay, will I pay for $150 tri-suit so I don't have to spend like 5 minutes changing in a poncho? Yeah, like that might get worth it.
Do you have to change your poncho, or can you just go
naked? You can't go naked, no. In full Ironmans you can. In full Ironmans they have gender tents, and you can literally just do whatever. Mm-hmm. But in every other race there's not tents, so you need to have a poncho if you're going to change like that.
Oh. Yeah. And is it like the ones I see on TV where it's like you have to drop your stuff in a box and everything?
Those are the pros. In most triathlons, like you just have a patch of grass. Like you have a designated spot on a bike rack, and they just say like, look, you got like 2 feet by 3 feet, put all your shit there. And there's not like, look, if you're a completely discourteous person, maybe a ref will call it, but that's usually not happening.
So no one really gets like time penalties.
No, I mean, you have to be in that regard, you have to be a genuine asshole. Time penalties are by drafting or by littering. I think those are the ones where like if they see you, but even littering, it's like, unless you do it in front of a ref, like a motor ref, then they're not. Like
so even in transition, if you get off the bike a bit late, or like if you get on a bike a bit
no, that one they actually monitor because there's literally people, because that's like a safety issue. So yeah, I mean those are easy rules to follow. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but the whole like in the box thing, like no one gives a fuck. That's like pros.
Yeah. But they have pro sections in the ones that you do, right?
Not all races. I don't think I've ever been to a pro race. There's only some of the 70.3s, and like it's cool if you go to one. They're usually like better serviced and stuff like that. Sometimes triathlons have like wetsuit strippers, so it's like you get out of the water and then like you just like they'll pull it off for you. So instead of like you taking like a minute and a half to get your wetsuit off, like they'll take it off in like 20 seconds. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I would like to do like some of those races, but like I don't know, they're like I don't know. I just that's the thing. Like races are about you. It's not about the glamour and the. Mm-hmm. The Ironmans though, they do put up a show. Like there's a morning after breakfast. Like the village is much bigger. There's only 25 Ironman in the world, right? So it's like usually a big event going into it. Like there's like for context, there's like 125 70.3s, but there's only 25 Ironmans, so, or something like that in that range.
Well, it's the official Ironman sanctioned ones, or like the brand.
Oh, 70.3 is an official Ironman. They have Ironman even has like a handful, very small amount of Olympic distance. They call them Ironman 5150s or something like that. I think Yeah. But yeah, the 70.3 is the most popular Ironman branded race. Now there's T100, which is doing like a similar, like slightly shorter than a 70.3 distance, but there's only 8 of those. And not all of them are amateur invited. Yeah. It's a growing sport, man. It's a cool sport. But again, like ultimately, I think training for a triathlon is the coolest part of triathlon. Because it's amazing. It's so hard to injure yourself, right? Because if you're actually distributing it well, it's very hard to get to the running mileage where you're gonna like fuck up your ACL. And you know, cycling wise, like you're not gonna cycle so much that you become like that skinny, like scrawny cyclist idea. And then you know, because the swimming is offsetting that, you're building up your lats. So it's like it's a great cardio regimen because it just like it balances you, and it's hard to go too OP on any one of them, which some people might not like. But the good part about that is that like body composition wise, you get pretty well rounded. And then, you know, mentally it's fun. Like you're always going to be progressing in one of them, even if you're plateauing in one of them, right? So it's mentally inspirational. Training for them is so much better than actually racing. I don't think I'll ever stop triathlon training, right? It's just great.
True. Yeah. Well, I think we can. I think we're not at time, but like we can wrap things up.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Just like thanks for hosting the podcast for free. In your private studio.
I'll invoice you later. Yeah.
Thanks for all the insights. Like,
look at that, we caught just like finishing my coffee.
Just to let you know, to me, you're someone I look up to in terms of
You're someone I look up to, dude. No, I still haven't even got close to you.
Like a 25-hour-a-week thing. Like, remember last time, like,
20.
Damn, I'm like maybe I can do one of those one day.
You can
one training cycle one day. I don't know.
Anyone can do one of those. That's the point.
And hopefully, whoever's listening, this is what triathlons are like.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
look, if you're a friend of Stanley's, you can hit me up and I'll give you any my very amateur triathlon advice.
You're like 501, Mr.
My 501 70.
Very good.
There we go.
Like if I were to hit 501, I'd probably quit triathloning right after that.
If you hit 501, you're just signing up for another one. We're doing 459 together.
Yeah.
We're not settling.
Any final words, Samir?
You know, there's this phenomenon in cycling, which is if you're trying to do an FTP test. FTP is basically like how much power can you put into your bike continuously for an hour or for 20 minutes. Sometimes they'll extrapolate the hour measurement, and everyone tries to do this on a hill. It doesn't make sense. For some reason, you can always do more power on a hill than you can flat. Even though, again, it's not measuring like speed or distance, it's just measuring power output. And it's very confusing to people. Like some people have answers, but it's kind of like vague why that is. And there's a whole thing, and for me, it's always been like, when you're on a hill, like, you know, you really got to push, because like if you let up, you're going to fall over, right? And I think when something is challenging you're able to push more. And that's how I've always kind of defined it. So I would say, do things that challenge you, and you'll be able to do more than you ever expected you could do. So that'd be like my final little statement.
That is crazy. That is kind of inspirational. But yeah, thanks for everything on this episode of Zesty Zoy Pod. Tim Hortons, if you're watching, please sponsor.
Yeah. SVTC, Silicon Valley Tri Club. You know, if you're in the Bay Area, join them. Best club around.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode of Zesty Zoy Pod featuring Samir. Stay zesty.
Stay zesty. Let's hope this did.